Mind, body, and spirit.
Those are the first three I discovered.
Got it. Okay.
And I want to be really clear about that you need to think of these as like doorways.
Doorways.
And
okay.
as we have this discussion today, if any one of those things provokes something in you, you're like, I didn't really think about it that way, or I might have a problem in that area or arena.
Okay.
I want to open the door. I want to be rich. I want to have a $10 million business. I want to, like, all that stuff. And they're not thinking about, what do I need to do today? What's the most important thing today? What thing do I need to enjoy today, even though it might be hard, that if I just do it, that thing's already going to happen. Work with purpose. Work with something, and it applies to anywhere. This is where this whole how and what are very, very important. I don't care what you do, the how you do it is the important part. Here's the more. Well, let's talk about the more.
Yes.
You now need to go, okay, those are the 7 things. That's not earth-shattering, right? Like, there's nothing really new about that. Try to think of anything else that's an 8th thing. I bet you can't. I've had 20 years of people challenging me on that and what else there is out there. And every single time it falls underneath one of those 7 things. And so, for example, in your mind, right? I've had people, well, what about curiosity? I go, that's a mind thing. Like, and then nutrition falls underneath body, and you have all these things that fall underneath. And whenever you start to ask the questions about these 7 things, it actually starts to peel back layers of the onion, because the criteria that you look at this according to is what we call a litmus test. Okay, and are you familiar with a litmus test? You ever hear of that before?
No, not about that one.
Okay. Ever seen anybody test their pool with a strip?
Oh, yes.
Paper?
Oh, yeah.
Or their hot tub, like over here. We test ours once a week. Make sure the water is the water I can get into, not dangerous for me, right? And the water can be dangerous on one of 2 sides. It can be very alkaline, like hardening and build up and stuff like that, or it can be acidic and eating away and causing problems over there. Both of those are corrosive, okay? And so if we start to understand that, now I look at my mind and I'm like, where am I on my mind? Am I putting too much into it and it's overwhelmed and it seems like just too much information and I don't know what to do and I'm confused? Or am I over here, I don't know anything and I'm not smart enough and I'm not, which one are you? And you're like, okay, I'm leaning more over here. Well, that litmus test, you're more to the positive side and it's starting to move into an extreme. It's starting to cause mental health issues. It's starting to cause problems in your world. And you need to reel back. You're going too far over here.
Okay.
And you may be too far over there. But there, in any litmus test, there's a sweet spot that's still the good spot. That's where I can get in the water.
The balance.
Yep. I don't want to get in that water and I don't want to get in that water, but this water is where I need to be. How do I bring that back? And funny enough, the litmus test wasn't an original part of this. This came about after sharing this with those folks at the Maxwell Group. And I was traveling to go see grandkids. You're aware of my grandkids. You've seen pictures.
Going to Colorado?
Yeah. And I fly up. My son-in-law comes out the door, and I'm like, uh-oh. Because anytime he's the first one out the door, he's going to ask the same question every time. He's going to say, hey, I need some help with something. And that usually means manual labor. I'm going to put together some play yard. We're going to build a cupola. We're going to do something physical that he needs another hand for. And he says, I need some help with something. I'm like, okay, what are we building? He goes, no. I'm up for a promotion, and I've got to give a presentation to show people that I can teach. And I went, cool, this sounds easy. I get to sit in a chair and hang out. And I go, what's it on? And he goes, pH. And I had never called it Prosperous Human up to that point. I always called it Living Prosperously. And so he says pH, and I was like, bam, this little bell went off in my head, and there was 2 things that happened. I went, oh, Prosperous Human. And secondly, that's the most boring thing I could ever watch a explanation of it.
Yeah.
I go, could you pick anything more boring? He goes, look, they told me to pick something I'm great at so I can teach it. The thing I know most about, I know the most about this. I go, well, I've learned something new about you today. That's cool. Sure, I'll critique your presentation. So he proceeds to give this presentation, and the whole time I'm really into all this studying that I'm doing to bring this to the world now, because I've been encouraged to do so. And he's talking about this litmus test, the positive and negative. And up until that point, I had always thought of it as more like a battery. My battery's either empty or full, and I want it to be full, right? I want all these batteries to be full so that I feel in this place of joy and fulfillment. What I realized is not that. Actually, too much, being too full, is too much pressure. And as he started to explain this litmus test, there's this, wow, this extreme over here and this extreme over here, and we want to be here, and why that's important and what that does. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then he proceeds to share with me where balance is. And balance just happens to be at 7. It's a scale from 0 to 14, and the balance is 7. I'm like, okay, God, I'm listening, because I wasn't even sure I was going to put this out yet. And I didn't say a word to him. He didn't even know. Like, I went all through all this, and my head's just going, brrr, 1,000 things going off in my head. Come back, sit down, get it all written out, thinking about it, doing a lot of research and study. And what I found is, like, we don't want to be at neutral. We don't want to be there. Neutral is no growth or no death. It's just complacency. There's nothing happening there. But we do need healthy tension. Healthy tension puts us to a little more towards the positive side in one of these 7 things, and so we grow, right? But there's also, anytime I push one towards healthy tension, I'm pushing another one down. And I need rest. I need respite. I don't need as much in that one right now. And so for us to grow, we're constantly doing this push and pull thing. And I'm going to push a little more at work, but I'm not going to go over there in the extreme. I'm going to push up here and still stay in the sweet spot, but I'm going to have to sacrifice some stuff over here. And it's okay to sacrifice those things and let them rest for a little while, but we don't want to let them die. And that's the super important part. And so after putting all that together, I went back to him. I said, hey, thank you. I want to just let you know, I gave him one of the first PH7 hats and like the whole bit. And I just want you to let you know, you were a God moment for me, and you don't even realize it, what just happened. And so you're going to see this come out. I want you to know you were the inspiration for this.
Sometimes we don't believe who are, like, we don't think who are the people who are teaching us new things. Like, for example, that's a great lesson from your son. And the other one is that we always need to pay attention on what is happening in the world, like a lot of intuition. Intuition, I think it's really hard to develop it, but once you develop it, you are seeing everything, even if it's not happening, and you start having this type of discoveries that can click on the things that you are developing, right?
I don't think most people listen well. I think they listen to respond.
They hear.
Instead of listen to understand. You'll know who they are. Like if I tell you this thing, you're going to start to have some people that pop up in your mind, number one. And then as you go about your life, you're going to start to observe them. It's the one that speaks only when it's necessary to speak. He can actually add value. Most of the times, he or she is listening. They're listening to whatever the conversation is, and they may ask a question to gain further understanding, or they may add input that they hadn't heard yet to add a little bit of wisdom to the conversation. Those are the people I gravitate towards.
Okay.
And you know who they are. They walk in a room and you're like, I'm gonna listen to that guy, right? Like, is he saying? He's not saying anything. But the second he starts talking, everybody's heads turned towards him. He's like, they're listening to him. John Maxwell's one of those guys. Like, dude, I will sit there and listen to that guy all day long. I hope at some point I have some of that for people to share. I got to be a little better about intentional listening and listening to understand. And in that moment with my son-in-law, I very much was. And I call it intentional listening. Like, as you have a conversation with somebody, you should constantly be processing that for not what can I add to this, or what can I one up this, or not can I respond to this, but hey, Francisco, can you help me understand a little bit? Like, I heard what you said. Did I hear you correctly? And if I did, what does it mean this way? And get further, and I did that to him as he was giving that presentation. Help me understand a little bit more. Because I think the people that are going to listen to his presentation are going to ask those questions. Yeah. So it's good training for him, but I needed to understand a little bit more for what it was that I was planning to do as well. And so I don't think we ever live life in this work-life balance false gospel that I hear out there all the time, that you should have work-life balance. I think you should look at it as more like a teeter-totter.
Like a what? I'm sorry?
A teeter-totter seesaw. You know, the thing on the playground where you got one kid on one side, one kid on the other, it goes like this. And in the middle, it's got this little fulcrum thing, right? It's got this thing that is tilting over, right? If you're way out here on the outsides, and this kid's down here, and they jump, what happens? Bam! You smash your rear end on the ground, right? And it hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah. Or this kid right here jumps off, bam, right? Or the other way around, they force themselves down and throw you off, right? So you've seen that. That's kind of how life is. And when we live out in those extremes, that's what's happening all the time, chaos, right? We're out of kilter, there's no order, it's just chaos. But when and if you've ever done this before on a seesaw, I think this is a good analogy. You know, they have the handles you hold on to, right? But have you ever come and sat closer to the middle on a seesaw?
Yeah.
You don't get thrown off as easy. You don't bust your butt as easy. You still have the fun. You still have some push and stuff like that. But the littler the kids are, the closer they'll sit to the middle. The bigger they are, the further they'll go. And as adults, we're on life's teeter-totter, and we've gone way out there. And we're constantly in this extremes on things. And I think if we move a little bit more towards that center, not searching for balance, but searching for healthy tension in the things we need to grow, and rest in the things we need some rest in, we'll find this sweet spot to live life in that I call the good life.
I love it. I have a question that I'm thinking right now. So I start doing I want to start doing the 7 elements all day, every day. But what happens when you have some people surrounding you that they are telling you like, dude, that doesn't work, man. Go work, man. Like with your people that surrounds you and don't believe in that. And sometimes they are family or friends. Those friends that are your bad influence. How can we deal with that?
Well, we go back first off. Are they trying to push you down? And there's really 3 questions. Like anytime you get something like that in your world, this is something that helped me walk through my discovery on all this. Was first off, what do I believe? They're telling me this thing, right? What do I already believe? Do I believe that because they've told it to me? Do I believe something else because of my environment? Do I believe something else because of the way I was raised or whatever? What is it that I believe? And define that. Like, I believe this about that. Then ask yourself the next question. This is a little bit harder one. It takes a little more time. This is why you have to think every once in a while. Why do I believe it? Do I believe it because somebody told me so? Do I believe it because the internet told me? Do I believe it because some kind of stat came out that is a stat and that's all it is? It's a fact. It's not understanding that fact. And so why do I believe this thing? And so let's take this one you're using because I think it's the most common one. Everybody tells you, go work hard, go bust your butt.
Hustle.
And so what do I believe? I believe that. I believe, and I actually will tell you God's honest truth, you can succeed that way. There's no doubt. I've seen lots of people do it. So is it wrong? Not necessarily. It's just not the way I choose. I would rather work a little smarter than harder, if possible. And so I do believe it. Why do I believe it? Well, because people I trusted have done it, shared it with me, and said this is the way to do things. Things I've observed have proven to me that that is a way to be successful. But if you ask the third question, the most important question, is it true? And then you follow that up really quickly with, is there any other circumstance that I can observe or see out there in the world where it isn't true? And man, sure enough, there is. And we think of like Mark Zuckerberg. Like, come on, Facebook, billionaire and all that other stuff. That guy worked like 30 minutes a day on Facebook when it first started. He didn't work 80, 100 hours. It was like just playing around with something, being curious about something. And sure enough, it took off. And he still doesn't work crazy hours. Richard Branson works 2 hours a day, every day. So is it true? Mm-hmm. No, it's just true for me because it's all I know right now. I'm missing a piece of information that's really valuable that I don't understand yet. I need to go seek it out, get deep understanding of it so that I have insight that brings me wisdom, so I can be discerning to choose from right and wrong. And that is a recipe to that. I call it the inverted power pyramid. Knowledge, we've all heard this, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me if you've heard this before. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's potential. That's all it is. Knowledge is facts, data, and opinion. That's all knowledge is. And most people live in a thin ice society of, hey, I want to gain as much knowledge as I possibly can so I can go do amazing things. So you're out there in this constant learning thing all the time, we think. No, all we're doing is gathering facts. I would challenge you, and this is the way you can test it. Of all the knowledge you've gained over the last 365 days, what can you tell me about it? Exactly. And most everybody I ask that question to. Now, if you think long enough, you're going to probably come up with a few golden nuggets.
Yes.
Then I'd challenge you, well, how much time did you spend in that? You spent more time.
Yes.
You studied it. You started to gain a little bit of understanding about it, and which gave you a little insight. And now I have some wisdom. I got this thing that nobody else has, or maybe other people do, but I'm one of the few that has it because I spent some time in it, right? And from that wisdom, I can discern right from wrong. I can choose the right path or the wrong path. Mm-hmm. I choose to go down the right one, me personally. But people still, with wisdom, sometimes choose the wrong path because they're pressing easy buttons all the time. There's work involved. And a lot of us want to avoid hard work. Yeah. I want to avoid working hard. I don't want to avoid hard work. Those are very different. I want to do my hard work in the times where they fit for me. My hard work happens between about 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay.
That's where I'm in my prime spot to do the hard work. Otherwise, I'm just not doing it. Yeah. I'm gonna go take care of my body. I'm gonna go think. I'm gonna go spend some time in community. I'm gonna go see if I can make some impact somewhere. Otherwise, I'm doing hard work. I'm gonna work really, really hard. I'm gonna outwork you in my 5 hours, then you're gonna work in 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know where to work for me. I know how to prioritize that time and optimize when I am at my best to do that thing. So I hope some of this is provoking a little bit of like, if you got friends telling you, hey, hard work's the only way, just point out one example where that's not true, right? Just point out one example. Working hard or well is true. I believe in the concept of working well. Okay. If I'm gonna go work, I'm gonna do it well. I'm not gonna be at some crazy extreme and go like see if we get some kind of like validation or almost like we expect people to be proud of us because we work 80 to 100 hours a week. I used to be that person, and I used to look for that. Like, oh yeah, I'm out working all you guys. Yeah, I know you. I know you know. And now I'm like, God, how stupid was I? I'm angry at myself for not getting on it earlier in my life and going, what pieces am I missing? There's a great book out there. If you're struggling with time and like getting the most out of your time, it's called Buy Back Your Time.
Yes.
It's by Dan Martell.
Yes.
It'll change your life.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Dan.
It will radically change your life. It'll be a top 5 book I've ever read in my life.
All right.
It'll radically change your life. Now, I don't know how many people watch your podcast, but let's say it's a couple thousand people, 2 people will do it. Because it takes effort, it takes work. We just want the easy button. Tell me how to do it. Just tell me what it is, right? If you don't go do the work well, you'll never do anything that impacts people beyond you.
And they are listening on what the society is saying, and what the society is saying, have money, work super hard, things that we think are the right things, while there is more.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Financially, we're good, but I'm not rich, I wouldn't say. I'm not wealthy. I'm not what most of the world would say is wealthy. but I'm not worried about money. Because I know if I just do my work well every day, that's going to come. That's an outcome that's already determined. I prioritize my time right. I do my work well. God's going to take care of me.
That's super important for younger generations that they want everything fast. And that's and right now I'm seeing it with a lot of business owners, friends, colleagues, and all around.
You want to get there fast? There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Okay, but go get it from somebody that's already done it.
Okay.
This is why we coach. Like, you got a choice. You can go get a coach. He's going to speed the process up and give you all the stuff you're supposed to do in the order you're supposed to do it, so you can get there faster. Like, I can guarantee you, anybody that comes in and does the work with us, because it's going to be work on your part to do it, but within a year, if you're under $10 million, we're going to double you in size. Nice. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're also going to ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice for that? And we're not going to move you outside of healthy tension and living in the sweet spot. But hey, I might have to push a little bit more on here in the work fulfillment side of things. And that's going to cost me a little bit over here in my community. Not my family, not the ones that are close and tight to me, but that time with those friends and stuff like that, I got to set that aside for a little bit so I can go work over here. I'm going to let that rest. And then once I get that work done, I can bring that back down, because now it's where I need it to be, and I can start to invest back into that side of my community and actually make impact beyond you.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Coach, if our listeners, they want to know more about all these, they want to go deeper into these topics. I know that you have in the YouTube channel and the podcast, how can they become part of this community, or what are you building right now so they can know more?
Did a lot of hard work over the last few months.
I have seen
in those prime times, and for 18 of those months it was, hey, get this clear, get it out of what's in my head and down on paper. And a lot of times for you, it's one thing. I watch software companies do this. How they usually start is they build a software for their company, like their business, and then they go try to sell it to everybody else, and everybody else's business does it differently. Now they have to add all these things, and it's just chaos trying to figure that out. Me being aware of that and going through that, I'm like, okay, this works for me, but how does it work for you? And how does it work for you? And how does it work for you? And you, and you. I had to go through that for about 18 months with not just me, a bunch of mentors that I really trust. A good friend, Reggie Brock, my right-hand man, Nathan Thibodeau, who you know, several others like Justin Roethlingshofer, he wrote the book Power of Ownership. Just really high-powered, high-thinking, deep-thinking individuals, and they helped me test it. They helped me press it. They helped me push it. They asked me lots of questions and helped me get it clear and defined. And once we got to there, I went, all right, it's set in stone now. This is what this thing is. That doesn't mean that it is the truth. I want to be really clear about that. It's what I believe truth to be now. I hope that through all this, somebody proves something wrong in there so we can all get better. Up until now, this is what I believe, and I trust the people that have helped me put it together. I went and recorded 24 videos that walk you through the story I'm sharing with you today, the context of it, the value of it, and then the instruction on those 7 things.
Okay.
And so if you go through that course, it's going to test you on where you're at on the extreme. It's going to have the questions for you, how to discover it in each one of those 7 segments. And you're going to put yourself where you are on the litmus test in each one. What's going to happen from that, though, is you're going to have more questions. You're going to say, when it comes to my mind and my thinking and stuff like that, I'm over here. But what about curiosity? What about philosophy? What, like these other things? And you're going to start to go, oh, wait a minute, I might be an extreme over here on this one underneath mine, but I'm over here on the extreme on this one. And each one we kind of work through as we start to get the overall one worked out.
And this is the test, right?
Yeah.
That you have.
Yep, it's the litmus test, we call it. Litmus test of life, or life's litmus test.
Do you have it in the platform?
Yeah, it's in the platform. As a matter of fact, it's funny enough, we are about to put this thing out that'll allow you to go to it. And we've got, I think it's
This is gold.
It was either 36 or 72 questions. I'm not exactly sure.
This is gold.
But we have these questions you can go through, and you answer the questions, and it's going to give you a readout of where you stand in each one of these 7 things and what your next steps would be to hopefully solve some of those problems. And it's all free. Doesn't cost anything.
All this is free.
Yeah. Our YouTube channel is free. Our podcast is free. I'm on Substack. I don't know if you've seen Substack yet or not.
No, not that one.
Well, first off, I hate social media, just to be clear. And I know your roofers going digital. We know we gotta love social media. I don't like the tone of social media. There's so much negativity. There's so much comparison. Like, hey, where am I compared to you? And that kind of thing. And I think that's unhealthy for most of us because I want to be a prosperous human. I want to live life well and good. And so I took Dan Martell's advice from Buy Back Your Time. I have people that help me. I write down what I want and what I want to share, hopefully the light and the darkness out there on social media, and they go put those things out there for me, so I don't have to go there. But where I do go is this place called Substack, and Substack is a new platform. It is no ads, no algorithm. I can go choose what I want to go read or watch. And so there's really amazing people in there. I mean, deep thinking, smart, uplifting. I've not seen one time anybody be negative there, not one time. Everybody's encouraging these other folks to write more, get better at writing, create more and get better at creating. And it's just very healthy community. It's a healthy environment that's helping me grow. And I'm always looking for those kinds of places. And I hope that it's a healthy environment for others that come and read the newsletters I'm writing, the articles I'm writing, the notes I'm sharing, the videos I'm putting on there, and it prompts questions. And if you ask me a question on Substack, you're gonna get me. I'm gonna answer you right back.
Okay.
You ask me something on Facebook, probably not gonna be me. You ask me something on Instagram, probably not gonna be me. Substack is where I want to engage because it's healthy. I want people to live a good life, and it has been fantastic.
I'm gonna check it out, and I'm gonna put it in the comments so you guys can check it out, and we can follow you there. And I'm gonna get it. I'm not.
So I'll share a couple things with you. I'll share my Substack with you.
Yes.
If people do want to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, I'll give you those as well.
The Good Life Coach.
We're putting out those pieces of content through those as well. But I'll also share with you a link to our school platform. Are you familiar with school?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
That's where all the videos are. That's where the workbook is. You can actually download the workbook. And then within a week or so, I should be able to share the link to you to that litmus test assessment.
Okay.
So you can actually do the assessment. It's going to give you some advice on what to do next. And I'll say this, if people want more help than that, I need to hear from them because I don't know what this thing's going to become. That's been the most challenging part of this. I don't know what it's going to become.
Okay, that was one of the questions, like where is this going?
I don't know, and it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I know 100%. I'm passionate about it. I know it's the right thing for me to do. I know that when I've shared it with others, they're like, I want more. And here recently, people that are new to it, that weren't part of helping me put it together or hearing it for the first time, they're seeing it out there on Substack or YouTube and that kind of stuff, seeing me at an event and coming up to me and asking me about it. This last event, Top Rep, we just did, we had done the one in August, and it was the first time I ever shared it live.
Okay.
And I didn't have much of it done. I said, hey, this is what I have right now. It's an explanation, like a little presentation thing, and the workbook, go do it. And I had people come up to me and say, hey, I did the workbook. Dude, it changed my life. The one that really, there was two that really stuck out to me. One was a guy came up to me and goes, hey, I was at the event in Columbus, and I went and took the litmus test. I went and did the workbook. But before I did, the only reason I did is I was having some struggles in my life. Between me and my wife, we're trying to get pregnant. It was getting very contentious. We were getting towards a fractured relationship and not really knowing exactly where that was going. Could have ended up in the worst possible outcome. But I shared what you shared with me to my wife and said, let's do this together. We did it together. It helped us let go of some things. And that's the thing, I don't want to add anything to you. I want to take things off of you. I don't want you to go find a new thing to do or add something new to do to your life. We're doing that all the time. I want you to let go of some things, give up those things. They gave up that hurt that was happening there. And he goes, I just want to let you know, I'm proud to announce we're having a baby in October. I'm like, dude, if it was worth it just for that.
Yeah,
just for that alone.
For sure.
And then the other guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, did your workbook change my life and my approach and how I'm doing what I do right now? I look at more of how I do it instead of what I do. I'm not just a salesman. I'm not a door-to-door guy. I'm a guy that gets to change people's lives because of what I've understood from this. I'm like, that's really cool. He goes, and I've continued to follow your content. I'm watching you on Substack. That thing you put out on Substack last week with the bishop from the Lutheran Church, he goes, that was radically good and the timing was amazing. My brother just told us that week that he was addicted to drugs and we didn't know it. He's actually one of the most successful ones of us. He's caught up in what you're talking about, and the world is tearing him down. And I shared that with him, and he wants to take the next steps. Would you talk to him? Absolutely, man. This is what I'm here for. This is what I was designed for. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. It's not a 5-year, a 4-year, even a 12-year thing. This is the rest of my life. I'm going to go after this, and it's my purpose.
Nice.
But I need people to tell me if they want more.
Okay.
If they want more.
Feedback. You need feedback right now.
How? Like one of the things we're working on right now is what we call Pocket Sage.
Okay.
And so literally I could hop on an app and say, hey, I'm struggling with work-life balance and I feel like I need to work all this time to get my business where it needs to be. How should I approach this as a prosperous human? AI goes and grabs all the content that I've ever created on this for the last 20 years, all that stuff, and brings it in and says, hey, based on what you've told us, some clarifying questions, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now that we know that, this would be step 1, 2, and 3, maybe to go into it.
Nice.
So that's actually something we might charge for, but we're talking like $9 a month or something.
You're an AI coach.
Super cheap. Just something that, hey, every time I'm feeling off, I can ask it, hey, I'm off. Well, and it might ask you back, well, what's going on? Where do you feel like you're off? What's missing in your life? Are any of these things missing? I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, are any of these things missing? Do you feel like time is not being used wisely? Do you feel like you're not getting enough time to think? Do you feel like you're either alone or you got too many people in your life? Because that was a big one for me on the community side. And I've been on both sides of that spectrum. Very alone, because one of the things as you grow as a human and you decide I'm going to chase this leadership thing, you don't have as many friends as you used to. You think you do. You're going to, but you don't. Most everybody's asking you for something, right? And that gets very draining. It pulls from you. Any of the other leaders out there, if you've ever led a business, you know what that feels like. Everybody's asking you and everybody's pulling from you and nobody's filling you. And so you're over here feeling very alone. But you're also over here on this extreme feeling very overwhelmed with all the people that want something and you want to serve and help them. All right, so how do we get back to the middle on that? And there's actually practical, tactical things to do that. Like all these people that are too much, okay, should I build a group and talk to them all at once? Should I build some videos so I can train them? What can I do to release that pressure to come back towards the sweet spot so I can be closer to the people I really need to be close to? And it's been just awesome walking through all this. So whatever people tell us, if they want us to create a group where people can just talk and be in a peer group about this, maybe do some breakouts and some self-discovery, I'm up for that. It will be an investment. I'm not going to do that part for free because, again, time optimization, prioritization leads to financial security. I've been down this journey for 20 years. I can share with other people what that looks like and how to get there. And I think they're going to have the questions. Yes. I just want to know from them how they want the answers.
Yes. We are going to put all the resources in the description so they can join. I know a lot of people. Actually, this is changing my life, and I don't want to say it because I am here and all this. This is a therapy for me, learning all this. Besides what I have been learning, but I am guilty of living the life that we shouldn't be living. I used to be living the hustle, work 12 hours a day, not living a healthy life. prioritizing things that are not right. So this is super helpful.
How about this word, the grind?
Yeah, I was the leader of the grind for sure.
Everybody sensationalizes this idea of the grind as it's something you should be proud of doing. I think you should be more proud of being disciplined and persistent. But if it's a grind, why the hell are you doing it?
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. We were saying.
Sound like a lot of fun.
I think I heard it from you. Like it's like grinding your teeth, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of right now in Roofers Going Digital, we are creating these companies of building owners. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk with you about this because I am seeing this in my community, and I'm trying to help them or like how I trying to guide them, but I didn't know how. But the first thing that I'm gonna do in the next days is promote, like showing them PH7. Because that's exactly, you can feel it when you talk with them in the monthly meetings.
Something that actually has come about from this, one of the guys I coached 8 years ago, built big business, wonderful. He's got a school for getting licensed as a contractor and also licensed as a public adjuster in Illinois. And one of the problems is he's got the Latino community coming in and trying to pass these courses and stuff like that, and they can't because of the language barrier. Well, he's Latino. He doesn't speak it real good, but he's got another buddy that does speak it real good, and they want to put it together. And they were asking me, like, hey, can you help from the business side? They want to help from the passing the test side, but from the business side. I'm like, absolutely, but I don't speak Spanish. And they're like, well, I think we can solve that problem. We'll figure that out. And I have a massive want and need to serve that community. I want them to understand that, yes, they can experience this American dream, but it's not the way they think it is. And so I may actually, he doesn't even know yet. I'm going to call him this afternoon because he asked me if I would be a part of it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to. And I said, I have some people I want to introduce you to. I want to introduce you to Francisco. I want you to know him because I think him and his community and who he has a broad access to needs this. I think you have the right idea of how to put it together. And then there's another guy, I don't know if have you met him, the professor from Rice University?
Who?
What's his name? He just called me. Is it okay?
Yeah,
anyway,
of
I know
course.
we're on a podcast and stuff, but
do it.
let me look real quick. Recent, talk to me on Sergio Chavez.
Sergio Chavez. No, I don't know him.
But
I would love to
obviously
meet him.
Latino. He's a professor at Rice University, and for the last 2-3 years, he's been studying the Latino community in the roofing world, and he's writing a book on it. And I've talked to him a few times throughout, and then he wanted to do like this final interview with me. We had a final interview on Monday or Tuesday of this week, Tuesday I think, and I'm like, this guy has this community of people that he's now created, and this guy's over here wanting to help them. How do we all work together to help this community do something special? I want to see those things. And I don't want anybody to care about my name. It's the impact I want to have. I want to see people succeed and live a good life in the best country in the world as far as I'm concerned.
For sure.
So who knows? Maybe we're able to work something out along those lines.
For sure, and I'm open to help the more people and that's the other reason I wanted to do this, because I know this can change life, and the more people that we help out there, the better.
Well, I found out yesterday, I was doing a recording for one of my clients, and I saw that I can record on Google with transcripts in whatever language I want. I'm like, I see what they're doing here. They want to do that. And then one of the things I've been praying about is, how can I help other businesses do impactful things without the day-to-day operation? I don't want to do the day-to-day. I want to sit on a board. I want to be an advisor. I want to counsel, but I want to share in the opportunity. I want an equity stake for doing so and those type of things. And now I've been praying about it for a couple of years. Now these opportunities are presenting themselves. And another one that is probably the first time people are going to hear that, I've been approached by at least 50 software companies.
Okay.
Because of what I did at AccuLinks to come on, help them build their thing, whatever it is. And most of them are not interested in it at all. They're like just a regurgitation of something else that's out there. There's been ones that I would like to if they never asked. It would have been cool, because I'm not going to prompt the conversation. But here recently, somebody came to me and they do have something new, and it's different, and it's awesome. And I think there's a way to bring those things that are happening for the Latino community and help them learn through something like this. And this software solves problems that people aren't even thinking about yet. Imagine being an owner of a company and being able to ask your software, what's my next step in my business? Who's the next person should I hire? Based on what's happened the last 6 months, what does it look like for the next 6 months, and strategy for my business? All these things that we could never ask before are now available. And so I'll just announce it here. I became a partner in Hive, is the name of it.
Yeah.
You can tell it's from the Latinos, because they wanted to call it Hive, but it's called Hive with a B, because they couldn't get the word Hive for their website. And it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's really cool. And he solves some problems with paying your people, with finding the right areas to work. Like these things that we all want to know that we haven't been able to solve, they've done a great job of solving, and I can't wait to help them put it out there.
Yeah, you are having an event, right? In Cersei.
Oh, I am.
Dude,
I cannot forget that one. Thank you for bringing that up. Maxwell Group. I share the whole thing. The last thing that happened was John Maxwell took me off to the side for about an hour and said, you need to put this out. This needs to become a thing, because it's real, it's authentic, and it's actually true. Like, this is a good way for people to find living a good life. I want to help you. And so throughout this process, people in the Maxwell Group have been a part of helping me put this together. And they're not involved with it. They're not a part of it. It's not like part of their company or anything like that. They just genuinely helped. And one of those folks, his name is J.C. Height. He's with the Height Agency. You may have heard of them in our world. He was at the event. And he's like, hey, I really like your content. I really like what you're doing. When you get this thing kind of where it needs to be, I want to talk with you some more. And so about 6-8 months ago, he's like, hey, I'm doing this event. I want you to come and speak. I want you to share this thing. I'm like, okay, cool. And where is it? He goes, Cersei, Arkansas. I'm like, really? Like Arkansas? Why am I going to Arkansas? He goes, it's at Harding University. And my head clicked like that. Harding University is one of the highest powered business schools in the nation. Just unbelievable business school, also faith-based school. And so I said, yeah, I'm down. And he goes, well, you get to get on stage, talk about this thing. Could you share it with others? And we have been sharing it out there that, hey, we're going to do this thing. I think we've gotten, 100, 200 people that are coming to this thing through our sharing. And we're going to talk on stage about Prosperous Human. And I think I'm right between Willie and Corey Robertson from like Duck Dynasty. Yeah. And then right after me is Dr. Gary Chapman, the 5 Love Languages. And so I'm on a stage that I've never been on before. And it's not about competing, but I'm competing. Like I'm going to go out there and give it my all. For sure. I'm going to share something that I don't think people have heard or seen before. Nice. And hopefully it's impactful. If people want to go to that, they can go to scalingwithstability.com. That's the name of the event. Okay. I think there's some discount codes and stuff like that. It's getting really close to being sold out, I know already. Yeah. And it's going to be powerful.
We are going to share it here too.
It's entrepreneurs. It's for all businesses, but there's probably the largest contingent of people coming are roofing companies. So yeah, super excited. Chuck Toki will be there. He's going to teach the sales track. I was supposed to do the leadership track, but my son screwed it up. He decided to go and get married on that Saturday, and I can't do the leadership track. So I'm just going to come in and speak, but there's a promise I make to anybody and everybody that shows up. Nice. If you come there for that day, I'm going to be speaking in the morning. I'm going to stay for the whole day, and I'll talk to anybody and everybody. I'm not going to be one of those guys that hops on stage and leaves. I'm going to hang out, hopefully make some impact, and be in relationship with people and help them live a good life.
I love it. I love the event that you guys are doing, and I love all the information that you just shared, Jim.
April 24th through 26th for a day.
Yes.
Yep. So it's coming up pretty quick.
Next month.
Yeah.
Next month. Yeah, we are going to share all the information in the description. Jim, if there is a an advice, like one advice that you wanna, based on everything that you said, like one recommendation that you wanna give to me and our audience.
Well, I'll give you the same one that was given to me when I was 14 by a neighbor across the road, and then reinforced by John Maxwell as I started to follow the path that the guy gave me. Invest in personal growth. Go read. Go spend time on you, not on everything you want to do, but on you first. Gain the information, the knowledge that you need so that you can understand it and be wise with it. And it's the best investment you can ever make. That piece of advice changed my life.
And probably people is gonna say, I knew that one, but it's different.
But do you do it?
Exactly.
And I want to be really clear about what the difference is. When most people read a book, they read a book, and then they go read a next book, and they go read a next book, and they go read a next book, right? And a lot of people are even like, how many books can I read in a year? I would challenge that that's not personal growth. That's knowledge gaining.
Basic knowledge.
You got some potential, but it doesn't mean anything yet because you don't know how to use it. But if instead, one of the guys that works for me, Noah, put this out the other day. He said, instead of seeing if you can read 3 books in 3 months or 3 weeks or whatever it is, see if you can read 1 book 3 times. That's personal growth.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't think like that because I knew that, but I know I'm not doing it the right way. It's what you are explaining.
So let me go even a little deeper. Let's talk about that. So before you read a book, first test yourself on what you think the content of that book is. Take a little test. I know this already, I know that already, I know this already, I know these things. Then when you read the book, see if you actually do or not, right? Highlight in the book, take notes in the book, study the notes after you read the book, and then post-test yourself. Then go read the book again 6 months later and see what you remember. Because if you don't reinforce what you learn, you didn't learn anything. You just knew something, past tense.
Yeah, that's great way to finish this conversation, Jim. I think we can be here for another hour. I don't know how long we have been talking about this, but everything was great. Thank you very much one more time for all your knowledge and expertise, and now sharing this. Before was all your business expertise that you gave us a lot of tips in past interviews, but this one is in good life expertise.
Pura vida?
Pura vida.
Yeah.
Pura vida, yes.
I know when I went to Costa Rica, have you ever been to Costa Rica?
Yes.
Okay. That's their thing, right? Like that's
Yeah.
on everything there. I'm like, yes. I want to live
Pura
here.
vida.
I want to move there. I
For
can't
sure.
talk my wife into it. We're trying. I've tried it multiple times, but that's what it's about.
Yes.
It's not about how much you gain. It's about how much you give.
Yeah. How? Right? Yes. That's a great conclusion. Pura vida, coach. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.